Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
So, I was late to the party with Arcane. But now I finally get it. Culture. Image. Netflix. With all the hubbub about Season 2 of Arcane finally releasing and changing everyone's brain chemistry, it's time for me to finally admit my truth. Despite efforts from smarter friends, I slept on it. For far, far too long. I'll be the first to admit that I've never really been a League of Legends girly. One of my best friends is a devoted fan who will, with great enthusiasm, readily take hours waxing lyrical about all the champions, how they all relate to each other, and which ones are objectively the hottest, which is really the most important metric. No. I was reminded over and over from friends, colleagues, and even strangers on the internet that the best point of entry for someone like me would be to watch Arcane. And yet, even having worked for Netflix at one point, I just never found myself gravitating towards it. But recently, Sugoiko very generously sent Legends Nexus a copy of the Arcane Season 1 Collector's Edition to check out, and I figured given the new season just finished up, it was about time I gave in to the suggestions. Turns out not only am I completely eating crow, I'm also taking my first steps into a whole new universe. The thing I love most about diving into a new show or game is the intricacy of the lore. I am one of those people who will sit down and meticulously go over every single entry of a codex, or dive deep into YouTube analysis videos that go more in-depth than your 9th grade English teacher with a Ted Hughes poem. Now, I'm not going to talk specifics about plot points, because I truly believe the best way to experience it is to just dive in with no context, much like I did. But what I will say is simple. Arcane is the type of series that grips you early. From the meticulously designed art style to the audio, every element has so clearly been fine-tuned and perfected. The characters, especially Hailey Steinfeld's 6, are so incredibly well-crafted that they feel real. And that's even before you get too deep into the existing lore of some of League of Legends' mainstays. As is only fair. Once I properly kicked off my Arcane journey and was well on the road to being obsessed, I had to come back to the people who had recommended it to me, head bowed in deference, to apologize for not taking them seriously sooner. I began with Courtney Smith, the best friend I mentioned earlier in this piece, and the person most likely to get me to ever play League of Legends, and asked her why it meant so much to her that I had finally given Arcane the shot it deserved. As someone who loves League of Legends and by extension, Arcane, I'm so glad that the show has introduced the world of Runeterra to people who wouldn't normally engage with it, she said. It's brought a whole new audience into this amazing universe, and for that I'm eternally grateful. Steph Panicasio is the managing editor of Legends Nexus, an award-winning culture and games journalist with an interest in all things spooky. She knows a lot about death, but not enough about keeping her plants alive. Find her on all platforms as at Steph Panicasio for ramblings about Lord of the Rings and her current whip novel. Good graphics don't make a game great, but good storytelling does. An Ender Dragon Egg. To soothe your troubles?